Good evening, everybody. Time is 7 o'clock and we're going to get this meeting going. So with that, Deb, would you please do roll call?
Counselor Williams is excused absent. Counselor Hancy.
Here.
Counselor Purser.
Here.
Counselor Parrish.
Here.
Counselor Quigley.
Yeah.
Counselor Miller.
Yes.
Thank you thank you very much. I've been having sugar. I'm going to ask everyone to stand for a moment of silence to pray or collect your thoughts, and we'll follow that with the Pledge of Allegiance. Thank you. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, everyone. We have an agenda before us. Are there any changes to the agenda?
There are no changes to the agenda, Mr. Mayor.
All right. Thank you. With that, I need a motion to adopt the agenda as presented.
So moved.
Second.
I think that one was you, Rich. All right. Any discussion on the agenda? Nope.
Counselor Hancy.
Yes.
Counselor Purser.
Yes.
Counselor Parrish. Counselor Quigley.
Yes.
Counselor Miller.
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
Great. Thank you very much. We have one proclamation tonight, a presentation update from the Regional Transportation Planning Office. It's your action plan. And I know there's 3 of you here. I'm not sure who's going to kick us off. Not who I expect.
Giving you the bait and switch here. It's my pleasure to introduce 3 representatives from the Regional Transportation Planning Office. We have Dana, Rachel, and Tara. They know themselves better than me, so I'll let them give you a little background. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm Dana Brosig. I'm the director of the Regional Transportation Planning Office. And I'm Rachel Peterson, the Senior Transportation Planner. I think we have a presentation. I don't know if it's queued up to go, but we're just going around to all the boards that are in our, I guess, area that we work with to give an update on kind of what we're doing and the state of transportation, I suppose, in the Grand Valley. So we work for the Regional Transportation Planning Office. Keep going. Next slide. We're actually an umbrella organization, so we kind of have multiple roles that we do, but all things transportation. We're the Grand Valley Grand Valley Transportation Planning Region. That's kind of the more rural area we do transportation planning. We're also the Grand Valley Metropolitan Planning Organization, which is the urban area. And then we also oversee Grand Valley Transit. So we kind of play a lot of different roles. We're technically Mesa County employees, but we do represent the whole region. So that's why we're going around, just want to kind of update everyone on what's going on. And we've kind of gone into the safety realm in the past year. So we're also going around trying to keep that at the forefront. I think we came about a year and a couple months ago to present the safety action plan. So we wanted to revisit that with boards and let them know like what's going on and where we're going and kind of keep that conversation going so that it's not just a plan that we're saying we have a problem and then we put it on the shelf and we don't do anything about it. So this is our attempt to keep that conversation going. Do the next slide. So this is just a map of where we work. The orange area is kind of the urban floor. That's the MPO, and but we do represent all of Mesa County. So we do a long range plan as part of our long range transportation planning requirements. And we have a vision in there, so I'm not going to read it, but just to reiterate that we look at all different modes of transportation. So we do look at walking and biking and rolling, but we also do look at vehicular because most people do use cars in their travel and as well as freight. So we're trying to look at the whole transportation network in our office. We have a great board, the Grand Valley Regional Transportation Committee, and we have Mr. Parrish on our board. So we appreciate his involvement as well. And we also have a number of advisory committees. So we have the Transportation Advisory Committee, which is made up of staff from all the 4 jurisdictions that we work in, planning and engineering staff. So we meet about monthly to talk about different transportation issues. But we also have a Mobile Mesa County Alliance. And this is a really, I think, important and interesting group because it's a lot of human service organizations that meet together to talk about transportation needs. And the goal of that is to try to fill gaps of transportation needs in the community outside of, transit, but then also to make sure there's not duplication of services. And then lastly, we have the Transportation Safety Task Force, and that's more on the safety realm. And so Rachel will be talking a little bit more about that later. I am pleased to work with a great group of people. So we have 8 staff now. We've about doubled in size since I started. And we included this here, but I also say if you have questions, feel free to reach out to these staff. They're very responsive. If you have questions about transit or safety or those types of things, you can always reach out to me, but also feel free to utilize our whole staff. We are here to serve the local governments. So. We have released 2 annual reports, and I did give a hard copy to Shannon, but this is the second or third year we've done an RTPO annual report, just kind of letting the community know what we've worked on. And then this is the first year for the Safety Task Force annual report. And again, that's just an attempt to try to bring awareness to the problem and what we're doing. It has already gotten some publicity around it. It was in the news. And so it's been a great document to be able to kind of shine light on this safety issue we have. On the RTPO side, you can do the next slide. We've had some major things happen in 2025. It was Grand Valley Transit's 25th anniversary, so we celebrated that in a couple of different ways. We also opened the Grand Valley Transit Fleet Maintenance Facility, so that has actually been a huge asset to our transit system, in that we do receive or utilize City of Grand Junction mechanics to repair our fleet, and we were using their space as well. That made it very difficult to expand our number of mechanics because they didn't have any more bays for us. And so we were very limited. We had a shortage of fleet. A lot of times we had like 1 or mostly 0 spare buses, which is not how you want to run a transit system. And so this gave us now 8 bays. We've like more than doubled in size. We have more mechanics, and now we have a lot more buses and spares. And so everybody is just a lot happier, operating in that kind of environment. And then we also adopted our 2050 Regional Transportation Plan. This is some stats out of our annual report, and I think it's interesting because it looks at a lot of different modes of transportation and kind of how things are growing. A couple of things to highlight is we had about 580,000 boardings on Grand Valley Transit. We did add a route, Route 12, which connects West Transfer Facility to North Avenue. Which you might not think like, how does that impact Fruita? But we actually saw a 12% increase in our ridership from Fruita on the Fruita routes. And I think we got some feedback, like it makes it a lot easier to get from Fruita to North Avenue, to Grand River Academy, to jobs on North Avenue. So that's been a really positive thing. And actually the only route that we've seen growth on last year was this Fruita route. So that's been a positive thing. On the Mustang side, we now have six buses that go between Denver and Grand Junction, Denver and Grand Junction, 6 buses each way every day, and 1 bus to Durango. I think that's important to note because there's a lot of conversations at the state level of how to fund busing and how to keep that service going. And they are looking at cutting some of our, it's called MMOF, and it's funds that we get to distribute to local governments. So they're looking at cutting those funds. So I always think like we should use busing because we're paying for it. But that is a very great service. I think the next visual shows the routes and shows that there has been growth in ridership, from about 21% growth in ridership just in 1 year on busing. So it is getting to be a very popular way to move around the state, and really great if you don't have a car or you just don't want to drive. And so encourage everyone to use busing as well. On the finance side, we do receive a lot of federal funds. On the transit side, about 70% of our expenses do come from federal funds. And if you go to the next slide, on the MPO side, about 80% come from federal funds. The remainder of those come from local funds that are split between those 4 governments. So we do bring in a lot of funds, but we also appreciate the support of our local governments. And that's all I have for you. I'll turn it over to Rachel.
Thanks, Dina.
So getting into the Mesa County Regional Transportation Safety Task Force annual report. It's a mouthful, so it's just the Transportation Safety, or just Safety Task Force for short. So next slide, please. So as Dana mentioned earlier, this was the first year of this committee, and it's really aimed at reducing the number of deaths and serious injuries on our roadways that we're seeing. So we have a mission and a vision that we created. This is for all modes of transportation, but ultimately we just want people to get to their destination safely. Next slide, please. And something that's really unique about this type of organization is that it is very multidisciplinary. So we have 4-member governments from engineering and planning staff involved. We have law enforcement, fire/EMS involved. Both St. Mary's and Community Hospital are involved. And then we have School District 51 as well as CMU. And then nonprofit is the Mothers Against Drunk Driving for our community. So the major highlights of 2025 of the first year, we had our first meeting and we were like, we're all spread a little thin here as different agencies. So what we really need is somebody to really take charge and move our safety efforts forward. So that would be our safety program manager, who is Tara Flaherty over here. And that's why we've invited her. She'll likely to be doing these updates in the future. So wanted to, bring her here. And then we also collaborated on a presentation at the statewide conference that's called the Colorado Traffic Safety Summit. So we really are a very unique situation with how well we collaborate in Mesa County. So we were just kind of preaching about how our method has worked for us. And then also our law enforcement friends have seen successes with surge operations. They do those about once a month. I know Fruita PD often will combine with Colorado State Patrol for that. Next slide, please. This one was, oh, sorry, go back one, please. So this one, it was just the one with the fun pictures. So last April was our first ever Cycle Safety Fest. So this is a event that's open to the public, and it combines motorcycle safety as well as cycle safety. If you can't ride a motor or a bicycle, you definitely can't ride a motorcycle. So it's just like a free skills check if you're an experienced rider, or if you just want to try out how to ride a motorcycle or bicycle, this is a safe space for you to do that. And then next slide, please. So the reason that we're coming together and doing all these things and we have a safety program manager is because there is a problem with Mesa County and the number of crashes that we're seeing. So we have about 2,200 to 2,300 that we see per year. And then if you go to the next slide, we have quite a significant number of fatal and serious injury crashes. And our numbers are not trending downward as we would like them to be. So our friends with Colorado State Patrol have actually said that their fatalities in 2025 actually went down, but the urban areas were starting to see increases in the number of fatalities. And the serious injuries are people are losing their quality of life and might not be able to work again, or those sorts of things. So this is definitely an issue, and we definitely want to see these numbers, completely be eliminated, ideally. Next slide, please. And Mesa County stands as the 4th highest county per capita. If you look at the larger counties with above 100,000 in population, and that's, in the state of Colorado, that's not where we would like to be ranked on this list. And then the next slide, for the communities that are above 50,000 in population, our neighboring city, Grand Junction, ranks 3rd with the highest number of fatalities. So again, not where we would like to be in the state of Colorado with safety. Next slide. And then, so with safety, and we can kind of dive into the data now into more detail. We did this with our safety action plan, and we're going to continue to look at this, but there's definitely infrastructure and there's law enforcement efforts that can be made. But a lot of what we're seeing with these crashes are actually behavioral decisions. So you'll see that 24% of the fatal and serious injury crashes were related to an impairment. Speeding was a factor in 31% of fatal and serious injury crashes. And then 24% of those involved a driver who was under the age of 25. So we're kind of seeing some of those trends skew a little bit younger. And then 97% of the fatal serious injury bicycle and pedestrian crashes were in the urban areas. And then 35% of motorcyclist crashes involved a fatality or serious injury. Next slide, please. So this is kind of the behavioral piece is really what we're hoping to, spread the word in the community is that we can all work together to see these numbers start to go downwards. So what we're really focused on in a big movement in the traffic safety space is this concept of creating a culture of safety. So if you go to the next slide, there's kind of 3 ways that you can help, and this is all of us in the room here. So something to think about is safety is a shared responsibility. Often you think that it's, the other people are all crazy. I'm a great driver. I'm a great commuter. But it's just kind of taking that self-reflection in and maybe thinking about how certain decisions that you make while you're commuting, how they could be better improved. And then getting involved is just kind of even educating yourself on the local laws that have passed recently, things that you might not know, and just being a safety champion. And then the third thing is just spreading the word. So if you're, in a car with somebody and as a passenger and they get a text message and start to respond to it, just like, hey, can I respond to that text for you? Or, if they're not wearing a seatbelt, hey, can you just buckle up for me? So just kind of being an advocate for yourself and your kind of smaller sphere of influence. And then, so those are kind of 3 ways that you can help. And then we wanted to go just dive a little bit more into our 2026 look ahead. So one of those, the Daily Sentinel posted an article on Saturday about this crash data dashboard. So that's something that's available to the community at any point. If there are certain statistics that you'd like to see about traffic safety, you can visit that URL, the mesacounty.us/move-safe-Mesa County. So that is a great resource for you to get more information about traffic safety. And then Tara is working on a safety gaps analysis just to kind of make sure that, especially on the behavioral side, that we're not duplicating efforts and there's not too many cooks in the kitchen doing like child passenger safety or just very other areas of traffic safety. And then we received a grant for the following 3 items from the Federal Highway Administration, which is the high risk network. So this is more so looking at the rural areas of Mesa County. We know that a lot of the crashes happen kind of in the urban core, but with the rural areas, we see a lot less crashes. But we do know that they definitely do happen, and we want to be a little bit more proactive rather than reactive with those. So it's just kind of looking more at the configuration of the roadway. Is there guardrail? What's the curvature of the roadway like? Those sort of engineering aspects, and try to kind of create this high risk network of where crashes could happen and see if there's any solutions we can make there. And then the messaging and outreach study would involve just kind of reaching out to the community and figuring out what the best way to get the word out about traffic safety to them is. Is it brochures? Is it events? Is it billboards? It could be a variety of things, and just kind of learning how to spread the word. And then speed feedback signs, they have the best example I can think of is in Palisade, where they have like the little smiley face when you're going down Alberta of like, good job, you're going the speed limit kind of thing. So that's something that we would like to, and we are going to have funding for to bring into all jurisdictions within Mesa County, including the city of Fruita, where I believe you guys will have 2 of those in the future. So excited about that. And then to mark your calendar here in 2026, we have a couple of events that we just wanted to let you guys know about. One of those is the Crime Stoppers Car Show and the Cycle Safety Fest. So the Cycle Safety Fest pictures that we showed earlier, we're bringing that event back. So this year it will be bicycle safety, motorcycle safety, and a car show all in one big event on Saturday, April 18th at the Mesa County Fairgrounds. So we invite you to come in and have just a good time. Try out a motorcycle if you want to, and then we also have Bike Month that will be happening in May. Just our Regional Transportation Planning Office website has a whole bunch of events and stuff of how you can get plugged in there. And then that statewide conference that we had presented at last year is actually coming to Grand Junction this year at the Convention Center. So if you'd like to learn more about the state of traffic safety in Colorado, that event is coming to Grand Junction July 14th through 16th, and all are welcome to that event. So just wanted to share that good information with you, and if there's any questions. Yeah, we thank you for your time. I think as I was thinking about this tonight, I was excited to bring it to you because you are the local leaders. So we know this is a community problem, and so we're happy to bring it to you so that you can also, speak out on these topics. And if you hear things too that you're like, hey, I wonder if they're working on that, feel free to bring ideas back to us as well. Happy to take any questions or comments.
All right, thank you very much. With that, bring it back to council.
I'll just mention that having the opportunity to serve, I've been impressed with the thoroughness and the quality of the staff, and the fact that they do consider things that happen in Fruita also. So we appreciate that very much, and thank you very much for this presentation.
Thank you. Thank you. Do you have a question?
I do.
You go first.
First, great presentation. So thank you guys so very much. In regard to, well, two things. I saw, you didn't really touch on it, but over 31,000 D51 students. I mean, that's fantastic. I work at a charter school. We don't have our own busing system, and so many of our students partake in that. And so thank you for that. It's a big deal. But then on the safety task force piece, and I saw the pledge that you all have, like, do you go to schools and chat with kiddos about the statistics that you presented to us? I mean, is there some version of outreach that you all do on a school level?
I would say we're in the planning part of that. Like, we want to, and we've reached out to District 51 to get that set up. Now that we have Tara, that's one of the things that she'll be doing, because that is, something that's really important. Another thing that a lot of parents don't know about is it's a graduated driver's license for youth. And so, like, it's not like in the old days when it was like you were 16, it was like, go have a good time. There's like a lot more laws around driver's license. So just educating, parents about that, students about that. And then we've also talked about even we've seen online like pledges between parents and kids about driving. So like trying to share that information as well. And so we've been brainstorming like where's the best space to do that and to talk to parents and to talk to kids. So we're starting to get those kind of things together to get that.
Fantastic. Yeah, that's awesome. Our school specifically, I know, would be interested. I kind of manage that piece of the puzzle. So
Okay, we will email.
okay. And also on the city side, like, I think it would be cool for you all to come to maybe a farmer's market or something like that and engage in that way as well. It's just really fantastic. So thank you so much.
Thank you. I do have a question. We're averaging 2,300 crashes. Realize we're not where we want to be on the list. But then you showed the slide in terms of the percentages of causes. Realizing most of this, I'm assuming, is behavioral. Do our behavioral numbers are those in line with the state? Are we having higher impaired drivers? I'm just trying to figure out, if we look at behaviors, is there one that is kind of jumping out among?
Definitely with impairment, I think we're a little bit higher than the state average. I'm not quite sure about young drivers, but I did just pull a statistic recently for vulnerable road users, which are motorcyclists, bicyclists, and pedestrians. And I think we're double the state average for fatalities specifically for those user groups. So that's just something to keep in mind there. So those were the ones that I think really stuck out to me, and speeding as well. I think we might be a little higher than the state, or we might be pretty close to. It just kind of depends where you live.
Thank you. Any other questions? Once again, thank you for coming by and for the update and presenting, and looking forward to seeing you again. And I love Janine's idea of, being part of the farmer's market at a booth and being able to reach out there would be wonderful. So thank you. Not the list we want to be on. All right. Up next, we have our public participation and consent agenda. This portion of our meeting is set aside for City Council to listen to comments from the public about items not on tonight's agenda or items that appear on the consent agenda. Consent agenda items are those for which all conditions or requirements have already been met, and they are typically approved with a single motion without separate discussion. We welcome and value your input. To help maintain a welcoming, respectful, and productive environment, we ask that there be no clapping, cheering, booing, jeering, or sign holding. This helps ensure that everyone, regardless of their viewpoint, feels comfortable sharing their thoughts. Each speaker will have 3 minutes, and we ask that you begin by stating your full name and whether you live in the city limits. If you have materials you'd like to share with council, please hand them to our city clerk, Deb Woods, so that they can be entered into the public record and distributed appropriately. While council is not responding during this portion of the meeting, please know that we are listening, and we greatly appreciate you taking the time to participate in this important process. So with that, I would like to invite anybody who wishes to come up and speak on anything that's on the consent agenda or anything that's not. Please come up.
Mayor Bremen, City Council, I'm Paul Schultz. I reside at 143 Altamont Court in Fruita. I'm submitting a written copy of these comments to the city clerk for permanent public record. I'm speaking tonight to formally object to item 10A, the ratification of electing commission appointments, and to categorically oppose the city's hypocritical push for new taxes. According to our city charter, the election commission holds immense power to establish precincts and appoint election judges. It must remain strictly independent. Yet, Mayor Bremen, you're attempting to hand this commission directly to the Fruita Area Chamber of Commerce. You are asking this council to ratify Laura Smith, a chamber ambassador, and Sam Boussard, who sit on the chamber's Government Affairs Committee. The Government Affairs Committee exists specifically to lobby this city government. Placing active lobbyists in charge of our election machinery is a blatant conflict of interest. Why does a lobbying group want control of the ballot boxes right now? Well, we see the answer right in tonight's RTPO presentation. The city is actively spending money on a finance study to evaluate new taxes and prepare ballot language. You're preparing to ask Fruita taxpayers for nearly $1 million in new taxes next April. To ensure that passes, the mayor is placing the Chamber of Commerce lobbying wing in charge of the election. Before this council asks taxpayers for a single dime, you must answer for your own reckless spending. You claim we have funding shortfalls, yet you endlessly subsidize private developers at taxpayer expense. Look at the 19 Road project. I've included an internal city email dated May 29th, 2024 from Planning Director Dan Karras to City Manager. It confirms back in May of 2024, the 19 Road project costs over $7 million at that time, a massive $1,043,608 over its $6 million budget. Will taxpayers ever be told the total cost of the 19 Road project? You blew over $1 million past budget and broke federal Clean Water Act laws to build an oversized road for a private developer. Your own permits admit it was built to, quote, support the ongoing housing development, end of quote, for Iron Wheel. You rated our tax dollars to subsidize a developer, and now you want us to pay more taxes to fill the hole you dug. You do not have a revenue problem. You have a spending and private developer welfare problem. I demand the city council vote no on ratifying item 10A. Tell the mayor to find election commissioners who are not Chamber of Commerce lobbyists. And to the taxpayers, do not agree to a single new tax until the city stops acting as a taxpayer-funded bank for private development. Thank you.
Thank you, Paul. Is there anybody else that would like to come up and speak at this time? All right, seeing none, I'm going to go ahead and close public comment and bring it back to council. All right. Anybody have any questions, thoughts, or comments on anything that is on the consent?
Mr. Mayor, I move to approve the consent agenda as before us.
All right, we have a first and a second. Any other questions, comments, or concerns? All right, seeing none. Deb?
Counselor Purser,
Yes.
Counselor Parrish,
Yes.
Counselor Quigley,
Yes.
Counselor Miller,
Yes.
Counselor Hansi. Motion passes 5-0.
Great, thank you very much. With that, I'd like to call out two people, both Arlene Jackson and Annie Wilson. Arlene has volunteered to step up and be on the Parks and Recs Commission. We welcome her onto that. She'll be a great addition to on that. And then Annie Wilson to the Arts and Culture Board. So it was great meeting with her, and I'm excited to have her kind of start to as we fill out that board. So once again, thank you to everybody that comes in and volunteers to be part of those parts of our boards and commissions. We have no public hearings tonight. Like, I'm not sure what to do. So with that, we are going to go to skip to the city manager's report.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor and members of the City Council. Yeah, a little bit of a briefer agenda tonight, but it is definitely our last for many, many months. So just kind of setting some
So enjoy it while
it's setting some expectations for the next few months, but it'll all be, really really good things after the election. We'll go through and kind of cover a lot of our master planning documents. We'll give the departments an opportunity to share updates with council and really focus on educating and being available for the new city council once they're seated in April. So much more to come in the future. I just have a few quick updates for you. I want to touch on a few upcoming events. Our economic development workshop is scheduled for this Friday. We're going to be over at the farm, the Fruita Arts and Recreation Marketplace. At our workshop last Tuesday, we did discuss the agenda and also had some questions to consider prior to that, but we're scheduled for 9 to roughly around 1:45. Our consultant is coming in Thursday night, and they'll be here through the weekend. And we've also have some of our partners joining us as well for the breakout session. So really looking forward to that and think that'll be a good conversation throughout the day. Coco Vino is this Saturday at 6. At Our Lady of Perpetual Motion as of this afternoon. We're meeting. There was one ticket remaining. So I don't know if we're sold out, but I hear that the Arts and Culture Board has been doing a great job, and I'm really looking forward to the event. Just saw the run of show. Looks like it's going to be awesome. I hear there's a great MC as well and great artwork that could be purchased to support art in the Fruita community. So really looking forward to seeing everyone there. A little bit of a quick heads up. We just got notice over the last week that Congressman Hurd, Senator Bennett, and Senator Hickenlooper are opening up their requests for congressional directed spending. So this is funds that we've been pretty successful for in the past. The timeline is very short on when we can apply or submit projects that they may be interested in funding. So you'll see a slew of letters of support on the consent agenda next week. Mostly projects that we've already talked about. They're in our long range plans. They're in our multimodal and circulation master plan as well. So just putting all of those on there, but it's going to be a little bit of a packed kind of agenda at our next meeting, which will be good. And then finally, I have a few updates on some of the comments that came up at our last meeting. Steve, our special projects manager, has been working with City Market on the issue for parking. Steve, do you have stuff to share on that? Okay, not till next week. All right. We're working on that, looking at a few potential options for that. There isn't a ton of space there, I'm told, in those specific spots, but we're working with their general manager to hopefully find out a solution that works for both them and for us as well. And then I think that's all I have. Thank you, Mr. Mayor, Council.
I do want to note with our conversation with Jeff Hurd, we did have a conversation with him that our finances in the city are in great shape, and we'll be submitting some requests for him to submit, and that the fact that we are financially sound should not be held against us. It should actually be a proof point that we will use those dollars to the best that they can be used. Do have a question on the proper process for our council reports and action items. We have the election commission appointments. That needs to be presented first, second, discussion, and then voted on. That's correct?
Correct.
Okay. So before we bring it back for all our stuff, why don't we go ahead and do that? We have need to get my glasses on. A request to ratify the appointment of both Laura Smith and Sam Boussard to the election committee. In our packet was the outline of the responsibilities. So with that, bringing it back to council, any questions on that? On those requests for appointments? All right, seeing none?
I'm familiar with both and feel comfortable and confident in their abilities to perform those roles.
All right.
Same. I do think it's fair to ask about affiliations with other groups like the chamber. Like I don't necessarily like it doesn't really ring like conflict to me, but have you thought about that? I mean, it's coming from you are asking for the appointment as mayor.
Yes.
So, yes. So if you want to.
So happy to do so. I reached out to a number of people for this, both the bulk of them were non-chamber or affiliated tangentially or directly with the chamber. And if you reach out to 7 or 8 people and it's the people who step up, I'm very grateful that they did. Not surprising, they're already involved in the community, that they'd be willing to continue to serve our community. But it's not like during the process I said, oh, let's only go to the chamber.
Yeah.
So I reached out to a wide variety of people, including people that already serve on some of our boards and commissions.
Thank you.
Of course.
Both candidates are exceptional. So.
Oh, well, it's just that, yeah, those were the only 2 applications that we received. So they are also to appoint election judges, and we have to do that pursuant to state statute by March 23rd. So
Yep.
I hate to start the process all
Yeah.
over again. Okay.
Any other questions? Comments? We need a motion.
I move to appoint Laura Smith and Sam Bassard to the Election Commission for a 2-year term, March 3rd, 2026 through March 3rd, 2028.
Second?
All right, we have a first and a second. Any other questions, comments, or concerns?
None.
All right, seeing none. Deb?
Counselor Parrish?
Yes.
Counselor Quigley?
Yes.
Counselor Miller?
Yes.
Counselor Hansi?
Yes.
Counselor Purser?
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
And thank you once again to both Laura and Sam for stepping up. Greatly appreciated that one. So with that, I'm going to bring it back to council for any reports or action items.
I have none.
All right, we'll start with you.
I have none.
All right, perfect. Anybody else have none? No.
Shannon touched on Cocovino, which we had another meeting last night. Everything is just running smoothly. We're going to be working hard on Saturday to make it beautiful for everyone and have a great time when everyone shows up. That's fantastic. That's all I have in regards to sort of that line. I did want to check in regards to verbiage on the upcoming turf ordinance. I can't remember what it's
Sure.
actually called.
Yeah.
Yes, thank
Oh,
you.
yeah.
But and I know we've had a lot of chatting about that, like during even the first round of talking about that. But if there is any way to, I know the state's not really saying about retroactive, but the city's intent is for it to not be retroactive. And I'm just checking in to see if it's possible to get that verbiage sort of baked in there before we see it on the 17th.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's our intent as well for it not to be retroactive. If people are making adjustments or anything else, it mostly just applies to new development throughout Fruita. But we can make sure we cover that during the second reading.
You know, is the intent. I'm asking is that verbiage actually going to probably be in what we approve, opposed to just noting our intentions? I don't know if it's possible. I don't know, like legally, what is allowed there when this is being mandated to us. But I'm just, if we possibly can, and if everyone else sort of feels similarly, I think that'd be cool.
Yeah.
I'm very comfortable with that.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much. That's all.
Anything else?
Met with Fruita Tourism Advisory Council this past week. It was great to welcome a new member to that commission, Joel, and it was not surprising how great a change in the meeting And in the response, it was good to hear the report from our ad agency. And I thought it would be interesting for you to know, because you probably didn't see the information that came back from the audit that they did on the Go Fruita website. And I think it's a joint effort between our staff, which is exceptional, and the new ad agency that we attracted 83,725 active users and 157,904 page views, generating over 616,000 tracked events. It confirms that Go Fruita is successfully attracting people who are interested in Fruita and what it offers. And I've got all the data as far as organic and paid social. It was a great report, and the ad agency was high in its praise of the staff here. And I think that we have lots going on. I will mention that 2 of the longtime members of that commission leave this month. And so we have a need for applicants to replace those 2. One from the chamber and one from BRBOs. So do that. We talked about what you apparently talked about at the workshop that I missed, but about the banners on the co-op silo and a call for artists there. I thought great. I'm assuming that you all approved of that, and
Overwhelmingly.
overwhelmingly. Okay. There was a question asked about the Historical Preservation Board and what plans they have for the 150, 250 celebration. If there are things in line, the council did not know what those might be. So it would be good to have the 2 entities talk. And there was some, with the cancellation of the Flat Tire Festival, which is pretty significant in the number of bikers and tourists that bring in. The one thing from the audit is that biking in Fruita is still the main attraction to bring visitors here. So the question was, what are we doing to replace that? And so there's conversations going on about that. There's going to be part of that 150, 250, there'll be on our website a list of 150 things to do while in Fruita. Yes.
Yeah.
So that should be appearing shortly, if I'm not mistaken. So within the next month or so. So I think that's all. It was a very profitable and a very good meeting. It was.
Mr. Mayor, may I point out something? Rich said that the chamber liaison on the FTAC, the bylaw, it's either in the bylaws or the establishing document that the FTAC have a chamber representative on the board. So I don't know if maybe Ally, because we've also got the term limits.
All right, there's only 2 staff members
Yeah.
over there.
Yeah,
All right.
That might get tricky. Board member, it maybe isn't.
Can it,
it just says chamber representative.
For a representative, I would
So like
hope to
a lead.
continue to have someone from the chamber.
Yeah, it's a requirement, I think.
I will reach out to Ally
Thank you.
or Kayla. Okay. Thank you.
That's all I have.
Well, it's Kayla's term that's expiring.
So
So
because that's a designated seat, is there a limit in terms of how long she can serve?
Well, it's in conflict with the term limits in the boards and
Exactly.
commissions policy. So
That could get
I
tricky.
was thinking maybe Ally could
Okay,
serve.
Being a liaison or.
right. Okay.
Yeah.
But it just, in contrast, like for somebody on council to be on their board,
Right,
they
yes.
are outside of those normal term limits. That's what I was trying to figure out.
Yeah.
Okay,
This member is a voting member.
gotcha. All right, I'll work on that one. Thank you.
Had a meeting with the Museum of Western Colorado. They are still continuing with their revitalization efforts. There was talk about having a community roundtable in reference to the museum in Fruita in March. And as soon as I get those dates and times and places, I can share that because they had exhibited interest in having council members and or staff available at that meeting. So other than that, nothing for me.
I have one item I forgot to mention. I know Shannon sent an email concerning it about the banners that have been produced. Hammond did an incredible job
Oh,
of
yeah.
producing or getting those produced. The photos, the old time photos are incredible. So I'm looking forward to seeing those hung up.
Yeah, I think we're going to hang them up sooner rather than later too. Those will be on the stage, but yeah, we have several, and now Hammond did a great job, like enhancing those and getting them printed. So you'll start to see a lot of. I'm not going to try to pronounce the term, but 150, 250 stuff around Fruita, which is going to be great. Yeah.
Centennials.
It's
Talked
Yeah,
about the
yeah.
board mixer. It's
yeah. And our communications manager just told me they should be hung up tomorrow. So, yeah. Yeah, so should be good. They look awesome, and yeah, really excited to see all of the stuff around town for sure.
Speaking of Historic Preservation Board and 15250, they are planning on several little things through the whole year to try to keep the celebration going. So stay tuned on that. They're kind of working on dialing those in. There's a lot of excitement around that. And then the kind of revitalizing the Lower Valley Heritage Room and getting more of those artifacts and documents out and visible. And I'm really excited about the momentum that they've got going there. Going to be some really good stuff coming out of that. I did
Out.
attend.
Ownership,
What's that?
still figuring out ownership.
Yeah, it's just technicalities, really. The family, Avon Peterson's family, wants it to continue. So just kind of working through creating that 501c3 and getting it. Should have happened a long time ago. We just didn't know that it hadn't. So it's all good things because they'll be able to do a little bit more fundraising and have access to some more resources. And it's a great bunch that's in charge of that. So it's in really good hands. Really, really good hands.
Make sure that Sierra's, our staff is aware of what they're planning so that can be incorporated into.
Yes. And I know we have like I think the mixer coming up, we're supposed to be really like dialing in those collaborations too. That'll be a good opportunity to get those relationships established. We attended the council candidate forum that the chamber put on. That was really excellent. The format this year was wonderful. We had organic conversations with people instead of talking at them, which was, in my opinion, significantly just better all the way around. So thank you to everyone.
Like we each all kind of had very different conversations.
Yep. Yeah, and the community members had really great questions, and it was really neat to meet some new faces. And yeah, I thought that went really well. And then I will be attending the geothermal industry open house on March 9th. Just looking forward to seeing and hearing more just options, energy, and things that some of our community might be using and interested in. So that and Cocovino. So yeah, excited.
Anything else?
That's it.
Yeah, I've got a couple items. Thank you, Shannon, and especially Travis, kind of going through those fire codes. I sent off some questions, got answers back pretty quickly. And Travis, if I'm wrong, please like raise your hand, jump up and down. But a lot of it is just matching, making sure the fire codes line up with our building codes. And so they're not in conflict, and for the ability to have the fire department being able to do those inspections properly. So getting those in alignment. Um, by the way, the propane thing is only for tanks over 120. Because I was like, wait, we can't have our. Travis kind of was like, no, calm down. Yep. But we will be seeing some more stuff come forth, especially as with fire mitigation. And we'll see that second meeting in April. We'll have more of that information before us to kind of review and then to vote on that. As you guys know, I was in Trinidad last week for the Governor's Fellows. Let me just say they pay attention to Fruita. They do spend, it was very interesting. So in terms of their what they're doing around economic development and incubator, they were paying attention to what we did here in Mesa County with the incubator and GJEP. In terms of a lot of their economic development is around outdoor rec, specifically mountain biking. Clearly, they paid attention to what we were doing. Interesting, they were taking a very different approach than we are on it. Pros and cons to both, but it was interesting to see how people look at what we're doing to kind of figure out what they're doing. So lots of interesting stuff there. I would say if people are on council are interested in doing this program next year, I would highly encourage it. It's a lot to learn. The connections are great. Lots of discussions, and I can share on Friday. They had an old middle school and how they're using it. They did share the monthly cost, which was astronomical to keep it up and running, which was about $40,000 a month.
But worth it,
That could be one point of view on that. I think their plumber certainly thinks so, because I think that's where a lot of that $40,000 goes. That and the HVAC. But it was interesting to see how they struggled with it and and I say that in terms of what to do with it and how far it's come and what they're doing with it as a community. But lots of those conversations, ones which I'll be bringing to council, a lot of which has to deal with our residents with Excel are going to see increasingly high utility cost. And we're now starting to have conversation among the fellows as are there options and what can municipalities do to help with that coming up and the risks to that. So I will have some more information to bring forth. But those are those kind of side conversations and networking that you do and you learn about. It's one of those things next council, I think, or next year, if people are interested, we should definitely look into that. Oddly enough, I've had a couple conversations, people looking for an indoor horse arena. I just thought I'd throw that out there because I promised them I would. And then looking forward to Friday. In terms of the economic development, we have a little bit of homework and reading or research or thoughts to do beforehand, but I'm really looking forward to hearing everybody's ideas. So thank you. And that's all I've got. James isn't here, so we don't need an executive session. And then do you have anything else?
Ironic that he misses one of our earliest meetings.
I know. So it is 7:54. So meeting is officially adjourned. Thank you.
Found your art. Excellent.
Oh, well, thanks.
It was.